Hello everyone, my name is Elton, author of the book Theory of Kalindula Fusion Music. This is a book that analyzes Kalindula music, and that's Kalindula Fusion, of Chishala, Masasu Band, Serenje Kalindula, and Oria Band, and many more. Okay, this book looks at the rhythm, it looks at the melody and harmonic structures of the songs, and coming up with principles governing this music. Now, why do we call it Kalindula Fusion? Because there is a very big difference between Kalindula tradition and Kalindula Fusion. Kalindula tradition is the music that you hear played by bands like Lima Jazz Band and the Sansam Kenny Jazz Band and Albert Mule, for those that have his music. It's very different from the music that Chishala, for instance, played. That we can classify it as fusion because it borrowed some aspects of traditional Kalindula and also rumba. It borrowed from rumba from DRC and other Zambian traditional music as well, all combined and came up with this music that I classify as fusion. This channel will be analyzing this music so that we understand the ideas and the musical ideas that were used in this music. I believe this is perhaps the first time that an attempt is made to analyze this music so that we can understand it and appreciate it. So what a way to start. Before we start, please remember to hit that button, the like button, and remember to subscribe. Thank you. The first song that we're going to look at today is Chimbayambaya by Chishala. The song was released in 1987 by DB Studios of Lusaka then. That should be over 30 years ago. First, the song starts, the song is in the scale of C major. That is the scale of C major. But the only difference is that if you want to play alongside the song, the tuning is a little bit different. They tuned the instruments to an A, which is a 448.7 Hz, against the standard tuning of A, 440 Hz. So the tuning is a little bit different. I don't know why. Probably could be maybe a lack of having proper tuning equipment. Maybe it was just the style of music that required them to tune to 448.7. First, the structure of the song. The structure of the song is an A-B structure. For those that understand music, we call that as a binary structure, which has two sections, A section and B section. And I'll explain a little bit about A and B section. A stands for the verse and B stands for the chorus. But if you look deeper into the A section, you find that there is an intro to the verse and also an intro to the chorus. And the B has the chorus plus the climax. And the climax is the dance section of the song. This is very common in Kalindula songs to have the climax where there's the dance section. And it's like everything building up to this climax. First and foremost, I want you to listen to this song, and then we can talk about it. Yes, the song starts with the intro played by the rhythm guitar, and it was very common then. It was like a style. Most of the songs that were produced that time had an intro played by the rhythm guitar, and it was also Pique was fond of using the rhythm guitars for intro. Perhaps him being a rhythm guitarist himself, so most of his songs started with rhythm guitar. And if you heard the song started with rhythm and it played an ostinato is a repeated section of a song, and this is borrowed from most traditional music. We have a repeated section of the song, and that is called an ostinato. So he starts by playing the rhythm like this. So that was the intro. And then let's analyze this. In relation to the C, which is the key note, that's the scale in which the song is, he starts on the third note, that's third from the C, which is the middle C. He starts on the third note, then drops to a sixth note, then again drops to the fifth note and the fourth note, back to the fifth note, then he jumps to the seventh note, then another jump to the second note, then back to the fourth note, then again to the fifth note, seventh note, then jumps back to the D, which is the second note, and then the ostinato ends on the fourth note. Let me play that slowly. Then it starts all over again. Now, if you analyze this in terms of the intervals, we have, it starts on the third note, of course, then drops to a fifth, that's a perfect fifth, then drops to a major second, and then another drop to a major second. He goes back to a major second, and then jumps to a major third before he jumps, gives a leap down to a sixth, that's a major sixth, and then up a minor third, then back to a major second, then goes back to a major third, then drops to a major sixth, then back to a minor third. That's the end of that ostinato. And it's very common in Kalindula music to have these intervals of major second, minor second, and also major sixth, and sometimes you get minor sixth, and minor third, major third, perfect fourth, and perfect fifth. These are very common intervals in Kalindula. Now let's look at the scale. What scale does he use? Again, we relate this to the key signature itself, that is C major. So he plays this scale called heptatonic scale. Heptatonic scale is a scale of 7 notes. That's from C, D, E, F, G, A, B. That is if you're in the scale of C major. So you've got a heptatonic scale of 7 notes. Actually, it's almost similar to a major scale, but only that we are ending on the 7th note. And he chooses those notes, that's a third, sixth, fifth, fourth, back to a fifth, then the 7th, then drops to second, then goes up to the 4th. So those are the notes he chooses from the heptatonic scale. And it's a very, like I said, it's a very common scale in also in traditional music. So he uses that scale to play the ostinato at the beginning. Then immediately after the intro from the rhythm guitar, and it plays for about 8 bars, that is if you've written the music in the time of 6/8, you count that there will be 8 bars of the ostinato. And then immediately follows the lead guitar, and the lead guitar answers first in thirds, and he plays something like this. Let me play that again. Then he goes to play that. So what is he doing at the beginning? He plays in thirds, okay? So he's playing in thirds. And it's a very common feature as well in Kalindula, where the guitarist will play in thirds, or we call that as double stops, okay? He plays in thirds at the beginning to answer to the ostinato that was played by the rhythm guitar. So that's what the lead guitar plays. And then immediately he plays this famous motif, and it's beautiful if you listen to it. Now, if you look at what he plays, the lead guitar plays only so those are the notes he plays. And when you look at the structure of this motif that he plays, it's got a call and answer. So the calling is, that's the call, and immediately followed by the answer. Like that. And this is played throughout the song, and you hear this throughout the song. There's a reason why I want to believe the lead guitarist came up with this. If you listen first to the bass, as the intro picks up before actually his Pikesh sings, the bass moves like, and it's very interesting what he's doing here. And if you look at the title itself, it's called Chimbayambaya. Now, Chimbayambaya simply means an old lorry or bass. So it's a movement. He creates a movement of something moving, like you're on a bus, and the same thing goes, the wheels turning and the movement. I think he imitates that. You're imagining you are moving, okay, because of the word itself, Chimbayambaya, being a vehicle. And then on top you have the motif from the lead guitar playing. So it's giving you that movement of the music, okay? And what does the rhythm guitar do, and that is played throughout the verse, is that the rhythm guitar now plays the chord progression from, that's 1, 5, 7. That's chord 1 and 5 with a 7. That is 1, then 1 to 5, which resolves back to 1. And he doesn't play, the texture is very, very important. He doesn't play the complete chord like, or 1, No, he goes for simplicity because there's a lot of movement happening down there by the bass, and also the lead guitar is doing something on top there to keep that movement going. So he just simply plays two notes, and that is very creative. This simply fills the whole song. Instead of making that heavy texture, I think he opts to go for simplicity. And it's the beauty of everything combined gives you that kind of movement. And if you look at the bass also, he uses these seven as a stepping note or a passing note into 5, and you get this beautiful sound. I think that was very creative of the bass to really use the 7th note, which is an F, as a stepping note into chord 5. Then he gets back to the 2nd, which is the 5th of the the 5th of the chord G. This is the 5th. Then he goes also back to the 7th, and then drops into 1 and resolves into 1. And look at the resolution again here. Okay, very typical of Kalindula. Okay, and that is very common also in Western music. He uses the principle of the 7th resolving into a 1, and the 7th of C, that is B, resolving into C, and also the 7th of G. If you make a chord there, G, which is G7, sorry, G7 there, F resolving into beautifully into the, giving us a nice cadence there from 5 to 1, which is known as a perfect cadence. So this is what is happening from the intro and just before the verse, and throughout the verse you hear these chords going on. But until next time, I think we'll end there, and next time we'll look at what is happening in the verse. And I hope you enjoyed yourself. But I urge you to go and listen to this song so that you can appreciate these ideas. Thank you very much. How was that?